It'd mean a whole lot to me in my small business if you took a couple of minutes out of your day to figure out how I made all 7 of these Groomsman gift notebook cover sets. Now, these are all handmade. I do have a laser cutter that helps me with my template, but the assembling process and putting these things together, pretty complex. My hands were cramping by the end of it. I'm going to take you through the process. The first thing I do after obviously laser cutting everything is prepping my pen loops. One of the best parts of my design, in my opinion, and in the feedback I've gotten from others, is I have locking pen loops. So when you put a pen through the loops, it locks the cover shut. And these are those loops, or what will soon to be those loops. Here I'm skiving it at my bell skiver, and you can see that blade spinning around, shaved some pieces off. So the pieces of those loops that will then get glued onto the cover, inside and outside cover, get a little bit thinner, so it reduces some of the bulk of the finished product. Here I'm going to be working on all of the interior panels. Now the interior panels have a couple of laser cut slots for things like your pen, things like business cards, in my case stickers, because I put stickers in there, send them off to my customers. And because there are 7 of these, I'm going to zoom past a lot of this process, but show you what it looks like going through the motions, because I did all of it from start to finish, all in one go. It took a couple of hours out of my day today. And this is right now what we're focusing on, is just the interior slots. As I go through the motions of burnishing the edges of the interior piece on all 7 of these, I thought I'd take a second to explain why I'm making 7 of these. I got hit up by a customer on Reddit who was like, hey, I love your work. I'm getting married in July. I really want to get my groomsmen some notebook covers. Apparently it's a military wedding, and all of the groomsmen are military personnel, at least from what I understand. And he said, military guys like to carry notebooks, so I really want to get everybody notebook covers from you. Or from me, with their initials engraved on it in a nice big block letter font, which you saw in the very beginning, and you'll see again toward the end. So I had to oblige. I did a 1-inch engraving on the bottom right corner, and you'll see that later on. Here I'm gluing those pen loops down that I mentioned. I taped them, put little pieces of tape on them off camera. That was a little bit of a time-consuming process there, but I thought I'd save you a little bit of pieces from it to just, reduce some of the boredom. If you stuck with me this long, I really apologize for some ramblings, but I appreciate you sticking with me. So here I'm gluing all the pieces together, and again, this is a pretty tedious part. It gets really messy. Laser cutters on leather do tend to char the edges, so as I'm gluing, I'm getting like glue and like soot from the laser on my hands and skunking it up, and I have to keep washing my hands in between. So that's just a part of it with this particular leather. This is a waxed pull-up leather, which basically means it's got a waxy top with an oil undercoating underneath of the wax, so when it creases, it leaves these cool light streaks in the leather that come and go. So this type of leather actually holds its color pretty well over time, whereas the other leathers that I work with here, if you've seen some of my other videos, will patina a lot darker and richer and shinier. This is a little bit more true to color, but it does patina as well. So that's why it gets a little soot. The laser burns and melts kind of the wax a little bit, and you kind of get that on your hands as you're gluing. So it gets a little messy. Here, everything's together and stitched. You saw me at my Cobra Class 26. All of these notebook covers were requested to have black stitching, which I think is a great matching stitching color. Some people like auburn, which is my personal favorite for this English tan harvest leather, but the black looks really cool as well. It kind of blends in, and it matches the engraving, which of course is going to be dark black. At this point, I'm using what's called a bone folder to break open the inside seams. So if there's any excess glue that kind of are keeping the notebook cover shut or together where you don't want it to be, like where the notebook's going to slide in, I'm going to break that loose with the bone folder. And here, I'm going to stuff it with my large moleskin notebook, lock it shut with that fine tip pen, and you can see as the pen goes through those loops, it locks the notebook shut, so you can't open it. Pull the pen out, you can open it up, and here you're actually getting a little glimpse at all of the engravings, the little 1-inch block lettering that I did for all of the groomsmen. And that's going to be it. That's all 7 notebooks. Took me several hours to get through today. I found my efficient processes to make things a little bit easier on myself. And there you have it. I think they came out awesome. This is an English tan harvest leather, pull-up leather with black stitching, custom engraved for hopefully what's soon to be a very happy wedding. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for sticking along this far.